Good morning, www.andrewmarkmusic.com. This is the second post for my Golden Rule series, the Winter Solstice Golden Rule series, which really is focusing on one of the questions in philosophy, which is the question of how shall we live? The other question being, about metaphysics. And I believe that after 10,000 years of human history, the question of metaphysics has not been answered in any reasonable, objective way. It's still unknown what we are in and what this is. So what I'm suggesting, we need to focus on another question, which is the question in philosophy of how should we live. So that's what this series is about. In the previous post, we acknowledged the possibility of ultimate meaninglessness in a godless universe where no extraterrestrials exist. It was nihilism all the way up and down, and that has led to a psychopathic prison planet being run by, psychopaths. We'll move on to more hopeful possibilities, as bleak as they are given the above truism. Religion. Oh my, here we go into the mire. About 10,000 years have passed since the first collective narrative started trying to make sense out of what humans found themselves in. This history is littered with every imaginable claim, and the fact of the matter is that there is next to no objective evidence for any of the religious claims whatsoever. After 10,000 years, the only significant data we have is the mild efficacy of yoga and meditation in relation to the human body-mind. There's not a shred of repeatable, verifiable evidence of any other claims regarding a soul or anything else along those lines in all of religion. The historicity of the Bible narratives is a Swiss cheese of academia's history departments. In no other field of inquiry would we accept the near complete absence of evidence. And I list some facts below. So who were the God-men then? Well, it appears to mostly solar anthropomorphism. Mythologies reified. I sincerely doubt that any of them existed historically as written. Some of them may have existed as real human figures, but I'm convinced they didn't exist in the way conventional religion asserts. This series of posts will largely deal with the Jesus figure, who I refer to as Christos. I believe he was a Gnostic aeon. Whoa, Nelly! I thought we were talking about a godless material universe. Yes, we were, and I conceded the possibility, and now it's time to move on and try and make some sense out of the near endless contradictions over the next 11 days. There's time to make my case. Nonetheless, the narrative of who he was is about one of the only ones that makes any sense out of the near complete absence of evidence for the stories in the New Testament and the Bible. The reason there's next to no evidence for the official stories being true is that they didn't happen, not in the way described, and certainly not for the inane reasons given. These series of posts will now more or less work from the premise that the Pharisees and the Sadducees did indeed encounter the Christos on occasion, but those encounters probably didn't look like as described and not for the reasons indicated. Some of you could be noticing a conundrum now. If these beings exist, then how come they don't show themselves? Why are they letting the illusion of materialism take front and center stage? Well, certainly these are good questions, and like I already mentioned, this series of posts is going to speculate on why that is, what the agenda is, and why the Golden Rule is the only thing that really matters when it comes to your existence. In fact, it's really the only thing that Christos taught, along with the knowledge that you don't belong here. I made a note. Verification of claims in any meaningful way need to be repeatable and verified by a large number of skeptical peers. This is the scientific consensus. Anecdotal documentaries don't cut it. Sorry, YouTube. Anecdotes themselves within this field of inquiry are logical fallacies. Having said that, there is empirical evidence for the bodily and calming effects of yoga and meditation, but there's still zero empirical evidence for subtle energies. Now, I think they might exist, but we should be extremely cautious in dealing with our speculations on this particular issue. And no, there is zero empirical evidence for the efficacy of prayer. That's post number 2 of the Winter Solstice Golden Rule series. www.andrewmartin.com